For many, many companies, unless you're like physically producing a good or you're a dentist or obviously like, in a massage, the office is going to get less and less important. Meaningful relationship building, learning, networking took place at bars, restaurants, events, and other places. So the moment you begin to think about in-person interaction, you begin to realize that the office is only one of four components and it's really a museum.
Amazing. We were going to talk about the future of work and the office, throw away the office, but this has been too entertaining and too interesting to derail.
Yeah, so I think one of the key things I think that also, one of the things I write about lots of different things, but the thing I wrote about the future of the office was a very simple thing called return to the office ? Okay. And I write the Substack called The Future Doesn't Fit in the Containers of the Past. And I do believe that for many, many companies, unless you're like in physically producing a good or you're a dentist or obviously like, in a massage, thing like Massage Envy, the office is going to get less and less important. And people are confusing two separate things. My whole stuff is what's important is in-person interaction. But if you remember, we never used to have much in-person interaction in the office. Meaningful relationship building, learning, networking took place at bars, restaurants, events, and other places. So the moment you begin to think about in-person interaction, you begin to realize that the office is only one of four components and it's really a museum, right? It's the museum part of the four components, but then you have the third place, you have the events, you have the restaurants, you have the experiences. And once you start thinking that way, no one in their right mind can think about anybody working 5 days of work. Even Goldman Sachs and others can't force people back there, right? Because my whole basic belief is world-class talent aren't cows. And I tell people, the cows have left. It's too late to close the stuff. Or as I basically tell people, all of our minds are like champagne corks. Once they come out of the bottle, they don't fit.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like people were most of the time, those interactions, a lot of times they were like complaining about those types of things. I don't like this person. It's like being in a room with someone for so many hours. Yeah. People have different personalities. People eat different smelling food. People, there's so many.
It's not only that. If you go to most offices, what used to be considered to be so abusive, nostalgic, and I work across so many different companies around the world, I actually see when I walk into the offices how horrible it's now turned out to be. They're half empty. Most people don't show up. Now people are saying, why are we spending so much money coming here, eating all this expensive food? Right? So people say, we'll give you free food. I say, it's not free food. You want in-person interaction. If you want them to come back to the office for 1 or 2 days a month or 3 days a month, you have to program it. Mm-hmm. You can't have them come back and put headphones.
Make it a social. Yeah. So you're sort of decompartmentalizing the whole work experience where this is for social trust building. This is for this. This is for learning.
That. This is for networking. Yeah. So the thing
and we're never coming back to the office, basically.
Not never coming back to the office. The office's role will be that of a museum, a part of our in-person interaction. And depending on the type of company and how old you are and what needs to be done, it may be X number of days to Y number of days a month. Okay, a month, not a week, X number to Y days a month. But what is extremely important, and this is the thing that people have to recognize, is even the words we use, the English words we use are wrong. Okay, remote and hybrid are wrong words, right? We've become so lazy. Office versus in-person. Remote makes you basically think if you're not sitting at the office, you're feeling lonely. I stopped working full-time after I started my book. I wasn't feeling lonely before COVID, right? So I don't use the word remote. Hybrid makes you think it's only office and home. Those are not the only two choices. So I use the word unbundled and distributed. Work has been unbundled and work has been distributed. And how do you, depending on what you do, how do you re-aggregate it? See, what that requires is something that is the really amazing thing. Why are most senior people scared? Because it asks you now, what exactly do you do? Right? It's time to be a leader, not a manager. It's time not to check in on people. And that is why they're so scared.
It is interesting because when we started Story Hunter, a lot of the even ad execs and other people were like, I want to use Story Hunter. We're a distributed global network of freelancers around the world. And they'd say, I want to use Story Hunter because it'll force my executives to actually write a creative brief and tell someone what they want to do instead of be like, no, Daniel will do it. And it's always like passing across the responsibility. If you have a platform where you're dealing with a creative on another side of the world, you have to actually put your head together and think about what you actually want.
And to me, it forces every one of us who are more seasoned to reinvent ourselves to remain relevant. Okay. And just because you're senior doesn't mean nuts anymore.
And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now, reinventing ourselves to remain relevant. Please like and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm will show our videos to more people. Also join our Substack newsletter for exclusive updates, or if you're on the go, find us wherever you listen to your audio podcasts. Click on one of the links to find our next video, and also check out the links below for more information. Thanks so much for watching.